Breaking news. Drones are taking over the nation. What the f is going on? So over the past few days, there have been a lot of reports of drones being seen over residential areas in New Jersey, over US military bases, and it seems as if they are searching for something, or it seems as if maybe the military is running some sort of test program or whatever, but as of right now, the government has no idea what these things are. What's funny though is the Pentagon is saying that these drones don't pose any threat. However, they don't know what these drones are, which is ridiculous. How do you know they don't pose a threat, but you also don't know what they are? That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. I just don't think both of these statements can be true at the same exact time, especially when we're dealing with something like national security, right? Like, you would want to know, as the Department of Defense, who is in your airspace, especially in residential areas over US military bases. That makes zero sense. So, in my opinion, the only explanation for this would be a government program of some sort, a Department of Defense program of some sort. The White House is also suggesting that many of these drones that we are seeing are being misidentified.
They're obvious, they're everywhere, and it's almost like they're sticking their tongue out at us.
You think someone is behind this?
100%.
That is the exact opposite conclusion of the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, which received roughly 5,000 drone-related tips and found less than 100 to be credible. Of those investigated sightings, officials say they could be explained.
We assess that these drones, these aircraft people are seeing, are a mix of law enforcement drones, commercial drones, and hobbyists. We continue to see nothing that indicates a public safety risk or national security risk.
It's all an illusion, right?
You didn't see anything.
A lot of what we're seeing are just regular airplanes that we're just misidentifying, or they're just regular commercial drones that people have up in the air, which could potentially be true. But when you have people saying, hey, these things are the size of buses, right? And these things aren't making any noise, and these things have lights that don't look like they're from a normal plane, or they're doing things like, you know, accelerating forward and then doing a 180 and just going backwards in the other direction. That doesn't seem like a plane at all. I just find it hard to believe that with all of the technology that we have today to identify things, we have no idea what's flying in our airspace, right? We can send shit to Mars. We can get video from Mars, right? We have satellite communication. We have all these things that can identify you from miles and worlds away, except for in our own backyard. And I guess what really stuck with me when going through all of this is the government officials that are kind of trying to spin this in a way of fear mongering, right? Saying that, oh, they're Iranian drones that have come off the coast, that come from a mothership or some shit, whatever the fuck he said.
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government.
Shake him.
Or they're Chinese spy drones.
I do think the Chinese are using this. They have componentry and everything we've got. The camera that's filming me right now is Chinese. They have their componentry in our fighter pilots, and there was a report out a while back, and it was It's been talked about a lot that they're afraid they could have the capabilities of even turning off some of our jets if we were to get into a conflict with them.
Stop it. Get some help.
And they're surveilling us. Why they would have their drones lit like a Christmas tree, I have no idea, but that makes no sense, and it's obviously it's bullshit. It's obviously bullshit. There's also been reports of these things crashing, which, if they're the size of SUVs and buses, is incredibly dangerous, right? Incredibly dangerous. And they're telling us, the public, there's nothing to worry about. Yeah, it's saying these things are the size of a school bus, a plane, small plane, or even some have likened it to the size of a helicopter. There's also something I read about there being a nuclear chemical that was being moved across the United States that has actually been lost, and that these drones may be looking for it. Now, that would make sense if this was only happening in the United States, but it's not.
This is now no longer just a New Jersey East Coast problem, Ross.
It never has been, and again, there's been some very clever spin on this, but this has been an event that's been happening all over the world, Marky. It started a few weeks ago in England, over 2 major RAF bases, Royal Air Force bases in England, but I'm getting reports from here in Australia, where I am, China, Russia, parts of Europe. There are sightings happening all over the world of extraordinary so-called drones, or objects that appear to look like drones, and incredibly, the government here cannot give us any answers.
But it's really going to be interesting to see what all of this amounts to over the next couple of days, right? I'm sure it's going to be swept under the rug like most everything else, right? A new news story is going to come about, or maybe this is a cover up for another news story, I don't know. But I'm really interested to see where this is all going to go, because this is honestly if they truly don't know what these things are, it's a massive breach in national security. And I just don't think, with all of the technology today, that's the case. I just don't. I think they're pulling the wool over our eyes, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Catch you later.